Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of the Herm Cet Show. Today, we will be talking about undervalued and underrated forwards in
Mm,
the 2010s decade.
yeah.
I'm Ethan Seton, joined by Nate Herman, your host. Nate, are you ready to get talking about some underappreciated forwards that nobody has heard of in about 10 years?
Yeah, I'm ready to keep the list going. We were coming in hot last time with the guards. I'm ready to power through with some forwards and keep dropping knowledge on these youngsters who don't know the 2010s guys. We're out here
Exactly.
with a great list, and I'll let you start it off because I took us
Yeah,
last
just
time.
before we get started, I just want
Yeah.
to remind our viewers we're on the road to 1 million
Mm,
subscribers. We're 990,000 away.
mm,
Make sure you guys hit that subscriber button. You know, so we can get our own studio in LA. And educate the basketball world because we're probably the greatest NBA content creators on YouTube right now.
yeah.
So get us that LA studio so we can keep on putting out more good content. Anyways, let's look at that list.
Mm,
You know, and I just want to start us out with a guy who, when you played NBA 2K in the 2010s, era, NBA 2K15, NBA 2K14, 16 even, you wanted this guy in your team because he was about to poster it, slam it over every single person.
yeah.
I'm talking about small forward Gerald Green, the
Yeah.
high flyer, the four-fingered assassin.
Mm,
Because not many people know he only had four fingers.
yeah.
And he could throw it down. He had bunnies. Gerald Green played for the Phoenix Suns, most known, the Rockets. And I just want to point out Gerald Green, multiple 10-point per game season. One, two, three, four, five. 10 plus point per game seasons because that dude was a bucket. In 2014 with the Phoenix Suns, averaging 15.8 points per game. And let's talk about his windmill lob dunk that is possibly the greatest dunk in NBA history
Yeah.
that he had against, I think it was the New Jersey Nets at the time.
Mm,
Back before the switch, back before Brooklyn had to get their team back. But I just wanted to point out Gerald Green, your NBA 2K cheat code for my underrated forward of that decade.
yeah. He's climbing the ladder. He's dunking over guys. One of the most athletic wings of the decade, pretty easily. And one of the best lob finishers we've ever seen in the league. Him and Blake Griffin up there top the list,
Oh yeah,
as guys who will finish over the top of people easily, and was a little better scorer than people might remember. Is kind of a six-man type of guy. He's probably going to come off your bench a lot of the time, but he could start at the two, and he'll come out here and he'll give you quick spurts of buckets. If you want to allow him to score in bunches, he'll do that for you, using his athleticism to get to the rim and spacing the floor a little bit here and there, but not the best shooter for his career. But Gerald Green, just a guy who's a nice, kind of complementary piece to like the stars of your team. I know you're gonna tell me he shot 40% one year or something. You're
shot
looking.
40%, and that one great year, 15.8.
Yeah,
What a guy!
the best year of his career. Yeah, he was hooping.
Yeah, 40% shooter.
I just liked everything he brought to the table. He's one of those guys, even if he's not the star of the team, you're tuning in to watch him because he's that athletic. It's like that Derek Jones Jr. Heat year, where he was
Oh
just
yeah,
throwing down dunks all the time. Like that's what you're tuning in for, and that's the same it felt like with Gerald Green, because
gotta
he's a
sell the
highlight
tickets
reel.
somehow.
Yeah, every time on the court. Yeah.
Who do you have
Okay.
for your pick?
Yeah, I'll take us to a guy who is a little more high profile. I'm going to take us to Paul Millsap, who was really the modern stretch four. Paul Millsap was kind of the one of the early bringers of the stretch four position. Could space the floor out to three, but was more of a mid-range specialist more than anything. But Paul Millsap was great with the Hawks, but also played with the Nuggets for a little bit. Early days of Jokic kind of breaking out into who he was. But Paul Millsap, 16 years in the league, real NBA veteran, four-time All-Star, all with Atlanta, was All Defense in 2016, and that was his best season, coming at 17 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. Was really one of the best steals getters for power forwards that we've seen. You just don't see power forwards getting steals that often. It's usually more of a blocks type of position. But Paul Millsap was getting out in passing lanes more than poking. But he'd poke the ball sometimes. Really good defender and really a nice complement to help stretch out your offense at the power forward spot. And him and Horford together in Atlanta were really kind of like an underrated all-star pairing that people didn't really talk about like they were as good as they were.
Yeah, Paul Millsap. I think about those years with the Hawks down in Atlanta,
Yep.
and man, that dude in his prime, man, that was a dog right there. That was a beast, and he could play defense, and he just had that drop step down in the post
Yeah.
back when being a big man and having fundamentals was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
The
yeah, he
Tim
was
Duncan
he
era.
was legit down there. Back when having good footwork was great. Man, remember those days?
Yeah.
And I think he ended his career in Denver not that bad.
Yeah.
Like he kind of
Well,
built
that
build up
short
to.
stretch with Brooklyn that wasn't all that good, but
Yeah, yeah.
we
Well, I
don't need
mean,
to talk about that one. That's fine.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Denver was okay though.
Yeah, Denver was
But
cool.
but ultimately, props to props to Paul Millsap for developing his game into that kind of that jump shooter, but also could get down low and do his thing. Paul Millsap, but that's a great pick. I like that.
Yeah. We'll take it to you now.
Yeah, I want to talk about someone who went above basketball. He
Mm.
played shooting guard and forward,
Yep.
so we can include him in this list. NBA champion.
Mm.
You know, I think about his time with the Cleveland Cavaliers,
Mm.
and he is one of the greatest podcast guys in the NBA.
Yep.
Iman Shumpert was
Yeah.
a bucket, and he could play defense.
For sure.
And Dancing with the Stars legend
Champion.
Iman Shumpert, champion, winner, multiple time winner. He won a ring in the NBA and won Dancing with the Stars. What a guy! And I just think about that impact he had for those Cleveland Cavaliers teams.
Hmm.
You know, helping out LeBron so much, and also was athletic.
Yep.
He could get up there and rise. Shooting wasn't the greatest, but I mean, he just absolutely could lock down the defensive end, and he could just fly. And he was exciting to watch.
Yeah, another underrated athletic guy, just like Gerald Green, who can catch lobs like that and finish. I remember the flat top. He had the best flat top in the league, easily. Cool
He did.
hairstyle for Iman Shumpert. Yeah, he was keeping it in. And one of the better shooting guards as like a role player type in the league for a few years there. He played in New York with the Knicks as well, I believe, and was pretty
Yeah.
nice for them. Was never really a star per se, but I believe he had like a 15 point per game season, something like that. He had a few nice years with scoring the basketball, could space the floor, is just like a typical 3 and D with some higher level athleticism type of guard. That's perfect for a good team. Every good team wants someone like that who you can just have around your great players, and it's just a great compliment to who they are and makes the team better without getting as much credit as maybe they should get as like a glue guy type of guy.
Yeah, who's your second guy?
Yeah, I'll keep it with a power forward again because I know this is forwards and wings, but I'm going to keep us with the big men.
Sure.
I'm gonna talk about LaMarcus Aldridge. A lot of time
Oh,
when people talk about Dame, they kind of talk about it like he had no help early on. LaMarcus Aldridge was an awesome player. He was
yeah, he
one of the
was.
best power forwards of
What a
the
dude.
era. 16 years in the league, 7-time All Star, 4 with Portland and 3 with San Antonio. I think people like under the radar kind of think he wasn't as good in San Antonio, but he was still very good. He was good in both places as well, kind of a stretch 4 type of guy who had some nice footwork in the post. But 5 times All NBA, 19 points and 8 rebounds for his career. His best season probably in 2014. 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, and a block. With the Blazers, he's third all time in points, first in rebounds, and fourth in blocks. One of the best Blazers of all time. And in his shorter spurt with the Spurs, is the Spurs' 10th leading scorer of all time in a franchise stacked with Hall of Famers. LaMarcus Aldridge, I feel like, was always underrated and not talked about for how good he was, because that dude was a star and one of the best players of the 2010s. And it feels like people talk about him like he was just some kind of good role player, which just isn't fair to LaMarcus Aldridge or a true depiction of who he was.
You stole my comment about LaMarcus Aldridge. back when having good footwork was cool, LaMarcus Aldridge
Yeah,
would just go out and he'd just have that stupid drop step and just put it in.
yeah.
Because I feel like I didn't see LaMarcus Aldridge dunk a lot of
No,
basketballs,
no,
all because
he
he
did not
just
have the vert. I don't think.
no, no, no. But he was so big and physical, like
Hmm.
he could body up his defender, and
Yep.
he would just like have a stupid like cheesy layup, and it would look really cool though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and he could shoot a little bit
Hmm.
because he ended his career with San Antonio, right? It was
Yeah,
San
he spent
Antonio.
some time in Brooklyn too with those weird Brooklyn teams.
What is it with these Brooklyn go for
Yeah,
careers going to
Blake went
die?
there too. That's where the power forwards go
Yeah,
to end it off.
that's
You
where
know.
they go to die. But no, he played all right in San Antonio. I think
Yeah.
did he get an All Star?
Yeah, he had 3 All-Stars with San
Yeah, yeah,
Antonio.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Man,
Yeah.
what a guy. LaMarcus Aldridge, being cool big man.
Yeah,
I
not
like your
the
picks.
flashiest guy ever. Feels like a
No, he
Spurs
wasn't.
guy, honestly. He totally feels like a Spurs
It's
guy.
perfect.
As like a kind of a slow, methodical, break you down type of player. But
Yeah.
was an awesome player I really liked. Do you have any honorable mentions? I'll give it to you. For other
Any honorable?
wings and forwards that you like.
Oh my goodness. Honorable mentions
Yeah.
for a wings or forward. I'm gonna go with a power forward. He was a power forward
Yep.
for a lot of his career.
Hmm.
Omer Asik
Yeah.
was an
Rockets
honorable
legend.
mention because I think he had one season with 10 plus points per game, and he had like 1.1 blocks, and that was with I think it was with Houston.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, with Houston. And he had a playoff series where he averaged like 12 back in that first
Yeah.
round against the Thunder. What a guy, Omer Asik. I feel like he's in one of those NBA fight compilations.
Yeah, he
That's,
might be.
that's my Omer Asik take. And I think he might have got dunked on a couple times.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Underrated. That's a name you guys haven't heard in a while.
I'll take us to Kenneth Fareed, who I just loved. One of my
That's a
favorite
lot
guys
different
of the
than Omer
decade.
Asik.
A little different than Omer Asik, but in terms of scoring, was not that much higher of a score, if we're being completely honest. For Kenneth Fareed's career, average 11 points and 8 rebounds. His best season, 2014, 14 points per game and 9 rebounds. But everyone has seen that viral TikTok clip against the Rockets, I believe, where he had like 10 rebounds in a row. He just kept
Oh,
missing,
yeah.
and there's like inspirational music over the top. And he just keeps getting the rebound again and again. He's a stat patter, maybe, that's the Russell Westbrook offense right there. But Kenneth Fareed was out there, and he'd body people, and he just was more aggressive than anyone else, the manimal. I loved watching him, and I just thought he was
No,
awesome.
I have a Kenneth Fareed clip. I'm sorry. I won't quote this because it's not appropriate for the podcast.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
cannot say this.
Yeah, not
But
safe
it's
for work.
yeah, no. It's when Kevin Garnett blocked him against the backboard,
Hmm.
and he yelled S word out of here something. And and then the announcers went really quiet because you could hear it word for word, and it's in every NBA trash talk compilation.
Yeah.
That's a great Kenneth Fareed moment right there.
Yeah, he was that guy. He was one of the fun
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. I also
The
really
manimal.
loved Donatas Matiunas of the
Yes.
Houston Rockets. Him and Ashik, the
He
two
could shoot a little
the
bit.
two
Lefty. He was a
yeah.
left-handed.
Yeah, he was. He was fun to watch. Sam Decker. We're gonna list all
Sam
the Rockets
Decker.
white guys of the decade. Uh,
He was on Shaqtin' a Fool for getting
He
hit in the
was.
face with the ball. He tripped over on a fast break.
it was pretty funny. It was a good moment.
It
But
was a good moment.
that's probably all we have for
that-
forwards. I don't know if you
Kyle
have another.
Singler, excuse me, Kyle
we can talk
Singler.
about Kyle Singler.
Kyle Singler.
Yeah,
Kyle Singler.
oh.
Duke legend.
Kirilenko, Andrei Kirilenko.
Kirilenko, AK-47.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good. He's a lot better than those other guys.
Now, Kyle Singler, random moment here. If you search up on YouTube,
Yeah.
Duke basketball trick shots with Kyle Singler,
You know,
there's a video of him shooting around the Duke campus, and it's
Mhm.
like playing with the song "I Got the Magic in Me." It's Magic by B.O.B.
yeah,
It's really grainy, but it's absolutely worth the watch.
yeah. Pistons legend Kyle Singler. Just
I
that
think
dude.
of more an OKC legend, Kyle Singler.
Yeah. That's all the forwards I think we have. We'll wrap up the forward section there with Kyle Singler as the real undervalued forward of the decade. But yeah, I don't think we have anything to shout out really. So thanks for watching.
Shout out DJ Steffens, 4 career games,
Yeah.
22 minutes. That's a name you guys haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, and we'll shout out fellow forward friend of the podcast, Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray,
Thanks
thank
for
you for
watching.
watching. We appreciate you, Keegan.
We appreciate you, Keegan. You're that guy. But yeah, that's going to be it for us today. Think about subscribing. We're almost at 1 million. Thanks for watching.
Getting close.
Yeah, that's it. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.